right, time to talk because oh my gosh, Oda does not know how to not let down. So we of course got the back-to-back chapters. Had to end it off with this one. Such an informational chapter, of course, called chapter 1139, Mountain Eater. And we start off by seeing who's who down low with the sword that was stolen, of course, and he has two figures that are shrouded inside of mystery, but it looks like to be Uta and probably Pepe. Because by the way the hat looks and the horns, that's exactly just who it looks like. They're tied up most likely, and they have captured the rebellious duo. I guess they were rebellion because they were trying to say, hey, F this, let's go ahead, get up out of here, Pepe, and just do this stuff ourselves. We don't need them anymore since since our captain was defeated. Now we jump right into it, and what do we get? Of course, we get none other than Zoro looking for the key still, and also Road is sitting inside here now, and Road is trying to figure out the location of it, and thinks to herself, oh, maybe a few people may know. The Elder, of course, which is the Elder Giant Chief Jarul, or some of the other elders that are around will know it. So either the old Grandpa or Gramps or somebody else may know it, but it's always a but. They may not give them the key because freeing Loki would be a terrible crime to go out there and do. And of course, Zoro's like, well, we kind of didn't decide on whether we would free him or not yet. And Luffy, of course, being who he is, it says, you're so strict, Zoro. Like, as he's saying this, though, Nami screams out, look over there. And they look and they see the red carpet coming from, of course, the throne room. And they walk into the throne room and they look on the ground and it's a circle there. But this circle has been a circle that we've seen before. To them, it looks like a strange marking. It's a marking that's used, of course, for ritual demon summons. Some, of course, we've seen before, such as the 5 elders when they were in Elbaf. We've seen them, and we know that now, as of right now, there are 2 gods' knights. So I don't know if the demon circle or the demon marking was the reason why they came, or they came some other way, because we see that Gunko, of course, can use her arrow fruit to fly freely away. But that does pose the question, where is this coming from? And as they're thinking about it, Luffy, of course, kicks in. He thinks about the time on Elbaf where he obviously had to fight some people, but couldn't for 100% put his tongue on where it came from. He says that he's seen it lately, and of course, as he's thinking about it, somebody yells out his name. Somebody starts talking to them and says, hey, you over there. And they think, hey, whoa, like nobody's inside here except for us. Is that some demon talking towards us right now? Of course, Road begins to get very scared because why are you inside here? What's going on? I think it might be time for them to exit. And here's where Luffy's axe on his back comes into play, because as we all know, there is somebody in the One Piece realm who plays with axes, and this person threw a giant axe towards Road and the crew, and as Road was trying to escape because he was scared for his life, he kind of tosses them inside the air as soon as the axe hits the wall, and Nami, Zoro, and Luffy all shoot into the air. But luckily, just luckily, our amazing trio is still safe. Our start trio is still safe. Luffy lands on the ground nice and safe. Zoro catches Nami as he lands, and we look over and we see an old man sitting there. And this old man goes by Ya. So Road calls him Mr. Ya or Sir Ya, only because of the various translations. And this person we look at does look familiar. It's a robe that they have on and the pattern design, as well as the woven hat and the long hair. We've seen before this person sitting down, talking with Crocus and having a drink with him. But this person goes ahead, and Mr. Ya, a former pirate living in Elbaf right now, says, hey, like, I know a lot about you, Straw Hat Luffy, including the fact that you did take care of Kaido. And boy, I love to travel around Wano again. So as he says this, he has his drink next to him, of course. We've seen it before. Then the entire sit down with the arms folded, and Road is like, "Oh, it's just Mr. Ya." Mr. Ya, in fact, is the father to Colin and the husband to Ripley, the sexy year old giant. But here it goes. That also means that, hey, Ya was sitting there laying that yeah down up on her, if you know what I mean. Human giant hybrid mix, and then you get Colin, which is a 20-year-old, and Ripley, who's 80. Ripley is actually older than Mr. Ya, and of course he just simply says that, you know what, marrying a giant is simply just ain't worth it, because I get older as a human, but they stay the same age, because giants live a very long life, and we all see that. But Mr. Ya introduces himself a little bit more and just says, love is free. He is the doctor of lover, the preacher of love himself. And somewhat, Luffy looks on and says, you kind of remind me of our Sanji, which definitely does remind me of Sanji as being a preacher of love. And it's just starting to get more and more connections towards a lot of different things inside here. But Mr. Ya comes up and he says that it's a lot of different races out there, such as the Buccaneers, the Dosen Dondai, the Long Arm Tribe, and the Long Leg Tribe, as well, and the Wotans. All of these we have inside there, a blended of people. Every single year round or round outside the world, some people seem to have these breeds and they mix and they go from there. It's just what happens. And of course, the preacher of love, that sounds just like Sanji, is looking on and trying to see what the crew is all about. And that Luffy simply says, hey, I'm looking for the handcuffs to, of course, free Loki. And free him, huh? Mr. Ya's like, that's a fantastic one. If there's one thing I love, it's other people causing trouble. That's really tacky, is the fact that we get from Nami and said that, that's actually really fucked up from you. We don't even know you, old man. But, young lady, that's just how it is. Secrets are born to be spread, not kept. And of course, the secret that they're trying to free Loki is definitely something that he's talking about right now, because that's a crime. It's criminally insane. And even doing so may put you in danger of getting arrested or put in prison by the giant, by the head giants. And Mr. Ya, of course, knowing that, doesn't really care, because it doesn't affect him at all. So Luffy says to him that, you know what, if that's the case, if we free him and he does go on a rampage or something, I'll just beat him up and put the chains right back up on him. And Mr. Ya looks at him and says, years ago, a man named Red-Haired Shanks captured Loki. So he starts to break it down. But prior to that, no one was able to stop him before. So what you're saying, that what you can do for the most part, Luffy, is that if this man, Loki, gets out of hand, you're going to take care of him, huh? And as he looks on to him, Luffy, Zoro are both sitting there like, hell yeah, now that's what we're going to be doing. Let's go back to looking for the key. This old man is just yapping too much, and Zoro's all down for it. We all know Zoro and Luffy, when they get together, there's no telling what's going to happen, because they're either able to, like they did up on, when they was on Jaya before they went to Skypiea, the beginning trio were all together. Ready to fight was Luffy and Zoro, and of course Luffy gave the word, don't fight back, for Bellemere, and Nami was confused as ever. Nami is still confused, and it's always going to be, but she knows she's going to be always safe with them. But this playful banter that the crew shows them, Mr. Ya thinks back to way before when he was on his crew and going around, and just thought about how he got into it so much with his captain, or how his ship was forced. They were forcing each other to do. They had to force people to do things up on there, because they just had different risk factors. And of course, he was on Roger's crew and called him an idiot. Now, Mr. Ya, you look at it, Roger's crew. If you had to be on Roger's crew, that means that Silver's Rayleigh. We have Gold D Roger, which is Gold Roger. Silver's Rayleigh, of course, Silver, second place. And then we all know it's a battle axe crazy man that goes by Scopper Gaban or Scopper Gaban with the Y inside there. Of course, the Viz translation kind of tweaks up it a little bit. It should be a Y inside of his last name, Scopper Gaban, instead of Gaban is Gayaban. But that's just how it is. It should be. But as we go through, to continue on, we see that, you know, the crew is ready. Don't push your luck. And this guy is like, well, if you really want to do this, then me and you can definitely test your battle strength and see just if you are capable enough of following what you said you're going to do. Then we flash over to the other side of the island where we have Oimar and Akashi there with Usopp, and they're just talking a bunch about it, just how this guy who was on the King of the Pirates crew, one of Roger's top mates, his left arm really was the Dark King to him and his right hand man's, but the left arm, who swung 2 battle axes together, was one of the strongest members of Roger's crew. And it's not that like it was a crazy strength difference. If we have Roger and then a scale down we have Rayleigh, we might have like a small scale, if that, of going from Rayleigh to Scopper Gaban. And they're talking about just how it was, and Oimar and Akashi look on and just say like how it was a hospital inside the mountain areas, and when Roger got sick, this is where the guy took him, and this guy of course just got surrounded by a bunch of enemy pirates, and these enemy pirates just kept coming, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, but this guy took them all down with just 2 axes by himself. And by the time he was done, there was really no mountains left for the most part. There was just pretty much nowhere else left on there with a single tree standing. He cut through all the trees and went down to become a legend and got the nickname Mountain Eater. After the first mate, Silver's Rayleigh, of course, this man was known as the pirate's left arm. And it's not just any type of left arm, because we know that these left arms, such as Sanji, has to be parallel somehow, some way. So now we're going to get Sanji's future self inside of a way exposed to us of how we can truly see it. Oh. We cut back over to the crew where Luffy, Zoro, Road, and Nami are walking down with Scopper Gaban. Obviously, that's who it is right now. This old man was there all along. He takes him into the treasure room because they were going to leave in the first place to just go by their own adventure. But takes him down there. They say treasure, and Nami instantly busts out money sign, eyes shining, diamonds. Let's go to the treasure room. They get down there, and it's all empty. But it's empty for a reason. The rooms are all empty because it's been there so long, and you can't really blame him. It's an abandoned castle, perfect place for burglars to come to and target. But it's always one thing that they never took in there, and it's the giant key that looks like it's the key to open up the keychain for Loki, because nobody ever wanted that problem or to have Loki even come out. But if that's the case and Luffy really wants this, he has to go toe to toe with the left arm of the King of the Pirates, Scopper Gaban. Luffy, you have yourself a fucking matchup. If Scopper Gaban is the observation guru of the crew, and it's going to be one of those. Because you got your armament haki, Luffy. You did, from Rayleigh, his teachings 2 years ago. And, you know, you have the advanced AOC, advanced conquerors haki, of course. And now you have your observation haki going against the man who can probably see into the future an entire minute. I say probably only because we know that I believe Katakuri can see into the future of like, I want to say like 15 to 25 seconds. I don't think it's ever released about the true nature of how far he can see into the future, but we know that Luffy can see past that. So Luffy's probably at 25 to 35 seconds that he can see into the future. Shanks is of course way above that level. We seeing what happened with what how he packed up Kid, and then of course we have Scopper Gaban, the left arm to the King of the Pirates. I'm pretty sure his is about a minute long for observation hockey. So the only way Luffy could get himself out of this one is by tapping into that Gear 5 and going right into that Toon Force. And it's going to be really interesting to see just what comes up next. It's to be continued yet again. So hopefully we begin another chapter. 1140 will be out, and I cannot wait for that to drop. But Scopper Gaban, hey, they showed his face finally. He has like at first I thought it was like a serpent, like a snake tattoo that camp on his head, which goes back to the ancient text picture that we've seen before with the guy with the snake tattoo. But I was thinking around, looking a little bit at the One Piece community, and they were saying it looks like it could be, like a burn mark, like he's the guy marked by flames. No, I'm not going to overcomplicate things. Could be, couldn't be. To me, I think it looks like a serpent somehow, some way, just upside down, like a serpent that fell off. But it's a few ways you can look at it. I'm excited to see what comes up next, especially this fight that is going to go down between Luffy and Scopper Gaban. Of course, it's going to be a training match, but hey, I'm all for it, and let's fucking go. This is 12, bringing to you another banger episode from the chapter. Oda Sensei, Oda Senpai, you're doing amazing out here inside the streets. Keep rocking out with this. If you guys truly rock out with us, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on. Be part of that Noti gang. You know how we coming already. This is, of course, season 2 of Twisting Podcast, bringing you some more fire content when it comes down to our manga section. And this is, of course, 12 officially signing off.